Good evening, everybody. It's May 26th. It's the day after Memorial Day weekend. And you just got to love our country, even though there's things that are divisive, things that we don't see eye to eye on. It's still a great country. I'm grateful for my life, for my family, for my job. So things are good, but they could be better, of course. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, coming off of Memorial Day weekend, where we had a weekend where we celebrated those that defended and gave us the freedom in this country to be where we are today. Um, so what's coming up a week from today, roughly a week from today, today's the 25th of May or 26th of May, is the governor's election. Well, part of the election that's coming up is the governor's race. Probably the most important part. Mayor of LA is pretty important too, but the big thing I want to talk about is the governor's race. So what I want to talk about is who is the best candidate for the position. Now, I'm a conservative, always have been. I'm registered Republican. I'm a patriarch, proudly so. I vote for these things and I make comment on these things as a Christian because it's important. Because it's important to my family to conserve the family unit, to defend the principles that God has set forth for my family and for my community. I believe that those are the best ways that society thrives. And that's why I'm going to vote and make a comment on who I think should win the governor's race. Somebody who's going to represent to preserve the family dynamic, the nuclear family. So who's going to be the best at doing that? I think there's one good example in the debates that happened. I watched I think 3 of them. And the one thing that stood out to me was the homeless situation. So as you see here, Gavin Newsom is the picture here shows quite a dismal outlook. This is the current situation. Under his watch, last 5 years, we were looking at his rating of his homeless plan. There was $24 billion spent. And so what do we have to show for it? So, and what do the candidates running for governor to replace him say about this situation? So let's take a look. So here from Nextar says from the top, an estimated 187,000 people in California are experiencing homelessness, and a majority of Californians, 86% of those polled, believe the problem is staying the same or getting worse. And that was verified from a few independent companies that looked at the situation, and it indeed is getting worse. In a primary debate hosted by Nextar on Wednesday, this is about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, from the time of this video, 6 candidates running to replace Gavin Newsom were asked to grade the current governor's performance on solving homelessness. So I looked up a few things and I came across CalMatters, and they have a little article here. One of the quotes is, "The lack of transparency in our current approach to homelessness is pretty frightening." The auditor laid some of the blame on the Interagency Council on Homelessness. Legislators instructed the council in 2021 to collect funding data on all state homelessness programs. The council did so once, reviewing data from 2018 to 2021, but has taken no action since, according to the report. So, what's going on? In a written response to the audit, the council said it doesn't have the funds to continue collecting the data. So I don't know if the part of the $24 billion could have been used to track what you're doing, but that seems completely ridiculous to me, to use the proper R word. There also were a number of errors in the statewide system that collects data on homeless individuals and shelter capacity in each county. More than 100 records had clients with names such as Mickey Mouse. I didn't even read this part yet. Superwoman, or even test participant. One shelter reported nearly 1,100 people enrolled in a facility with fewer than 300 beds. Come on. I mean, that's what's happening with the $24 billion of your taxpayer money? I mean, what's going on with this? Why is this even acceptable? There should be internal investigations, but that's not the point of this video. We're going to take a look at what the candidates had to say on the grading of this program headed by Gavin Newsom. So let's see what the candidates had to say.
I'm a notoriously tough grader, but I would probably give him a B on homelessness. I don't think this has been an easy problem to solve, but I do give him a lot of credit for calling attention to the problem. When he campaigned 8 years ago, he was talking about housing when nobody else was. Our homelessness problem is a
Talking
direct
about it cost $24 billion.
housing problems.
Look, I'll give him a B on
B.
Care Court and Prop 1 and many of the important initiatives that he championed where I've been proud to stand with him. I'm going to give us all, though, a D on implementation.
Frank, I would say that the governor has made efforts. We've seen him come down to Los Angeles, actually go out and try to clean some of the streets. On effort, I would give him an A.
It is an absolute dismal failure, and anyone that says it's not is fooling themselves or trying to fool voters. We are not dealing with homeless, so stop calling it homeless. It has nothing to do with homes. This is drug and alcohol-induced psychosis, mental illness causing the other. It
Republican
doesn't matter,
candidate.
but these people are suffering from drug and alcohol abuse and mental illness.
Katie, if you get a B for what Gavin Newsom's done on homelessness, my goodness, of course it's an F. It shames our state, the
100%.
situation with homelessness. We have about 10% of the US population, around 50% of the country's homeless population. And as for Javier praising Gavin Newsom for the photo op where he tried to pretend he was cleaning up a homeless encampment, literally Gavin Newsom did that 3 times in a row. Nothing changed. And nothing will change if you have one of these Democrats in power. It will be more of the same.
I give the governor a B- on this. And I want to start with a simple statement, which is no one gets well on the street. What I
Well,
would
at least
do
he gave him a
is
minus.
make sure to keep as many people off the street, and if they're on the street, to get them off as fast as possible. Because only 1 in 7 people who becomes homeless starts with a serious mental health problem, either bipolarism or some sort of substance abuse. But being on the street itself is such a stressful, vulnerable, dangerous place that it creates mental health problems for many people.
Okay, so I don't know. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? We've had a program that was funded by $24 billion over the last 5 years. Nothing's been done. Homelessness got worse. And we have 4 Democratic candidates that are trying to tell you that they graded B or better on the current homelessness situation. So what is that about? How is that even possible? Okay, so you heard it here, right? You got 4 Democratic nominees saying that Gavin Newsom and his $24 billion homeless program got a grade B or better for what? For producing 1,100 supposed people in 300 beds? How for one, how did they rotate the bed? And there's one comes in, one goes out one day, and then how does that even work? And how does that account for $24 billion? And was really Mickey Mouse there, and Superwoman and test patient, whatever they were? I mean, this has obviously been made into a joke. So what you have is the 4 candidates from the Democratic Party saying, yeah, we like more of that. We want to do more of that same thing. And I think the reason is because that's where the money cart is. That's one of the many money carts in California, is the homelessness situation, right? They get the old liberal of yesterday was the one that wanted to do things for other people, and that's an admirable thing to want to do for people. Not always doing for is the best thing. Obviously, the old saying is, biblical principle is that you can give a man a fish, and and then you give him the ability to eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you give him a lifetime of fish to eat for a lifetime. I didn't say it exactly right, but you get the principle. What they've done in California and other states and cities that are democratic is they get you as the voter to buy in. Oh, let's help the homeless. We need to do better for the homeless. And then you vote in the Democrat nominee, and he does a $24 billion package for the homeless to take care of them and doesn't do anything. And then you got 4 people in line to do just more of the same stuff, which means that they're not going to fix the homelessness situation. And you're going to vote again for the Democratic Party because they're going to say, we need to do better in homelessness. We need to do better. And what does better mean when you can't even say that the definition of what's going on right now is less than a B grading A to F? It's clearly an F for fraud, probably, because you can't even account for any of the money. What are we doing? Like, how is any of that helping the state? What it is these 4 nominees are seeing on the Democratic Party are, I've said it before and I'll say it again, they see dollar signs. You see dollar signs in their eyes. They see that money, and it's going. Let me put it to you this way: that money went somewhere. You know where it didn't go? It didn't go to homelessness. That's for sure, because it's still a problem. Or the best you can say is the plan that they had did not work, and they want more of the same. The only 2 viable options are Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco, because they want to do something different than just taking your money every single year and providing you nothing in return. So I'm just here to tell you, if you're, maybe you're not Democrat, maybe you're not Republican, maybe you're not conservative, liberal, maybe you're libertarian, somewhere in the middle, independent, whatever. I'm saying to you, do you want to conserve your community? Do you want to conserve the park that your kids can go to and feel safe? And then, as Spencer Pratt in the mayoral race has pointed out, some parks are filled with fentanyl and trash. I'm saying the plan that's going on right now is not working, and the people coming in want to do more of the same. That's not going to work either. I'm saying to you, if you're in the center, you don't I don't know which way to go. Doing more of the same thing is going to give the people that in the power, that have that power to put the money wherever they want, it's going to be more of the same. It's more of nothing getting done. I'm asking you to look at it objectively and say, what other chance is there to get out of this mess than to try something completely different? And you may have your feelings about conservatism and Republicans, but they're looking to conserve your community because it's their community. It's our community. We want the streets cleaned up. We don't want fentanyl in the street. We don't want free needles in the street, in the parks, in the sand at the park where your kids are playing. We want that stuff cleaned up. So I know what I'm voting. I'm voting for one of the 2 Republicans. In the primary, I'm probably going to vote for Chad. And hopefully it would be awesome if 2 Republicans got in there, and then I would just, whoever wins, wins. I see the Democratic Party in California anyway. Whoever gets in there just wants more of the same, more of your money in their pockets. I don't know where it went. I don't know. Well, you know what? hit us up in 4 years and we'll try again harder. We'll do it better. We'll do what better? An F is an F. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Peace.